I put my faith in a ticker, like a preacher to a prayer. Swore I saw a sign, but turns out nothing was there. Took a loan, took a chance, doubled down on borrowed time. Now my bank account's a graveyard where my dollars go to die. I was riding high on promises made of smoke and gasoline. One bad trade, one last mistake, and it all came crashing clean. Lost it all in the blink of an eye. Burned my wings on the way to the sky, but the sun don't shine on the reckless kind. Had to learn how to fall just to rise. Now I'm picking up pieces, stacking them tall, brick by brick till I get it all. Might have lost every dime, but you best believe I'll be back in the green. Whiskey and regret don't mix well with candlelight. Watch my future turn to ashes in the quiet of the night. But pain's a damn good teacher when you're sitting on the floor. And I ain't one to stay down, I've been broke before. I was chasing gold on a crooked road, didn't see that it was paved in dust. But the good Lord knows, and the wise man says, that a fall don't mean you're crushed. Lost it all in the blink of an eye. Burned my wings on the way to the sky, but the sun don't shine on the reckless kind. Had to learn how to fall just to rise. Now I'm picking up pieces, stacking them tall, brick by brick till I get it all. Might have lost every dime, but you best believe I'll be back in the green. Had to lose my pride to find my spine. Had to break apart just to realign. Storm came hard, but I let it pass. Now I'm standing here with a second chance. Lost it all in the blink of an eye. Burned my wings on the way to the sky, but the sun don't shine on the reckless kind. Had to learn how to fall just to rise. Now I'm picking up pieces, stacking them tall, brick by brick till I get it all. Best believe I'll be back in the green.
Oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning and happy FOMC day to all who celebrate. Don't say I never did anything for you. I threw on the lucky shirt just to see if we could get what we need to get today to make a couple tendies. Folks, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone's having a good one. Yeah, come on. Quick round of applause for Kohrs on the Cob. Always very happy where such talented artists can join the show and get us really prepared and mentally just at the top of our game for a fun-filled day in the world's largest casino. And this isn't just a normal fun-filled day in the casino. This is a specialty day. Not only do we have the FOMC decision at 2 p.m. and Jerome Powell speaking at 2:30. Yes, I will be streaming that, of course. But we're also in the middle of looking at World War III in the face, where we got to see what in the world is going on with Israel, Iran, the U.S., China, and Russia. We're also in the middle of a trade war. We also have a market holiday tomorrow for Juneteenth, and then quadruple witching OPEX, or triple witching, whatever you want to call it, is this Friday. Folks, it does not get more exciting than what's going on right now. Well, it's uniquely exciting if you're on the right side of the trade, but it doesn't get more chaotic, I should say. There's a lot going down, a lot to pay attention to. Even players like Captain Condor got blown out yesterday. They're back with 3x the size today. We'll be going over that. There's just a lot to get into. There is a lot to get into. Folks, if you could help me out, don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notifications. As you guys join in, smash it. Really does help me out with the algorithm to get this in front of other people so we can have such a good day together today. Obviously, it's 100% free for you guys to do it, and it really does help me out. So from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the good vibes, and let me do my job and get you guys ready for the day. Stock futures tick higher ahead of the Federal Reserve's rate decision. We find out at 2 p.m. We also get the summary of economic projections, the whole dot plot stuff. So 2 p.m. is going to be exciting. 2:30 is going to be exciting. We just have a lot to talk about. Right now in pre-market trading, we do have a slight green bullishness. Obviously, around 5 this morning, things were even better. But granted, we are still green. So even though equities are recovering a little bit, you have Bitcoin around 104. You have oil going up. So slightly bullish on the equity side, but we have definitely seen better. So as I've been alluding to, today's the big FOMC day, the Federal Open Market Committee meeting. We're going to be getting the results today. The Fed is likely to keep rates the same, but give a forecast that moves markets. So there is a 99.9% chance, as in everyone effectively, except for, I don't know, this person right here, is basically expecting the Fed rates to stay at 4.25%, as in not getting a cut this meeting, but as that headline just alluded to, at the speed, well, I would actually say with the SEP. So the document, that PDF that we get of all of them voting, and do we think unemployment's going up or down, or GDP, this and that. So we're going to get massive movement at 2 p.m. And then we're going to have even crazier movement at 2:30 when Jerome Powell is going to be doing his prepared remarks, and then he's going to be getting a lot of questions. So this afternoon is going to be a wild one, an absolutely wild one. And what the market is trying to glean here is any information on when we're going to get a rate cut. So according to the market right now, there's about a 15% chance that we get a rate cut in the July meeting. And then in September, that's when people are a bit more confident, coming in around 63% chance that we have some sort of rate cut by September. So the odds aren't that high by July, but depending on what either is or isn't said today, this could be dramatically changed. So that's going to be the hot macroeconomic thing of the day. But don't forget, we're also in a pretty crazy situation with Iran and Israel and them flinging missiles at each other. So yesterday, we had the president of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump, popping off saying unconditional surrender, obviously targeting that at the Iranian supreme leader. Trump weighs potential U.S. military strike on Iran, demands unconditional surrender. And on top of that, he basically said, hey, man, if we want to, we can unalive you at any freaking second, which is kind of a baller thing to say. Overnight, things did simmer down a little bit. Trump's shift in tone raises prospect of U.S. intervention in Iran. So this is what caused the market to start to sell off around 1 p.m.-ish yesterday. It was actually first being reported from the the Israeli side that the U.S. is going to get involved. And when the world heard that, everyone's like, yo, how bad is bad going to be? And then overnight, of course, it was the normal stuff, which unfortunately the normal stuff is in itself pretty insane. But it didn't seem to escalate beyond insane, if that makes any sense. So I thought Bloomberg did a pretty good job of wrapping this up. So let me make sure the volume's on here.
What are Donald Trump's options at this point?
Well, Tom, ever since President Trump left that G7 summit early to focus on the geopolitical situation in the Middle East, that has been the number one question. What are his options here? What is he thinking? Can we get insight into what is going on in President Trump's mind? We know that we had this reportedly 1-hour meeting with his national security team in Washington. There was no statement put out afterwards, so unclear what was discussed in that meeting. He also had a call with the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. No readout of that call either. But at this point, there is a lot of focus on some of the posts that he put out on Truth Social yesterday, and not only because of the content of what he's saying, calling for Iran's unconditional surrender, suggesting that the U.S. know exactly where the Ayatollah is, but for now he's safe. However, lacing that in with a threat if Iran don't yield to the U.S. terms, but also using the plural term "we," suggesting that the U.S. are somehow already
a lot of people
involved,
asking that. They're like, who's we in this case?
Tacitly participating in the Israel campaign against Iran right now. So his options at this point are: do they get actively militarily engaged as well? Do they start really deploying U.S. assets and aiding actively Israel with these airstrikes and attacks on Iran? Or do they push for the diplomatic channel and try to bring a now weakened Iranian regime with weakened military and defense capabilities, in addition to nuclear capabilities, to the table and try to get them to agree to terms? As previously discussed, the 6th round of U.S.-Iran talks were supposed to take place on Sunday. They were canceled. In the meantime, the hostilities between Iran and Israel continue. More attacks overnight. The death toll in Iran hasn't been formally updated, but some human rights groups are saying that the death toll has climbed to more than 500, of which about 100 constitute security personnel, some of those senior commanders. In Israel, the death toll official figure is still sitting at 24. Of note, though, Tom, as well, the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem is now closed for 3 days.
Okay, so the conflict, of course, continues.
500 on Iran's side, about 25 on Israel's side.
A monumental, potentially historic decision. What have other world leaders been saying about this conflict, about this war now, Jemana?
Yeah, well, you have to remember President Trump, on both his first term and his second term, talked about ending the quote-unquote forever wars in the Middle East. He spoke about that when he was in Saudi Arabia just a couple of weeks ago. But it's interesting to hear that some other leaders around the world are a bit more cautious, namely because they are beginning to draw parallels between the decision to attack Iraq back in 2003 and the chaos that unfolded in Libya after military intervention there. Take a listen to what President Macron said on the sidelines of the G7 summit last night.
Macron.
No to military actions aimed at regime change, because no one knows what comes next. Haven't we collectively seen the consequences this has had in the region and beyond? Does anyone think what was done in Iraq in 2003 was a good idea? Does anyone think that what was done in Libya last decade was a good idea? No.
So the international community
spat between
that
Trump
Iran
and Macron
shouldn't develop the capability of an atomic weapon or a nuclear weapon, but at the same time saying that going one step further and trying to push or externally force regime change doesn't have good results. If you take other episodes in history where that has happened in the Middle East, including in this example, President Macron talked specifically about Iraq and Libya, which is why many of the countries in the region, Arab states, the likes of Qatar, Oman, Saudi Arabia, all of them are pushing for mediation. They're pushing to restart those diplomatic channels, condemning the acts that Israel and the actions that Israel have taken only 6 days ago, and saying that at this point, that what they did, the military aggression, actually violates the principles of the Charter of the United Nations. So there is a bigger consensus of countries out there pushing for a diplomatic solution, looking to bring down the temperature, and others going as far as President Macron, suggesting that if you push too hard on regime change, it could have ultimately undesired consequences and potentially even lead to chaos.
I thought, like I said, pretty good breakdown right here. Xi, Trump take opposite sides on Iran, Israel. Of course they are, because especially China gets a lot of their oil directly from Iran, so that would be problematic for them, especially we're already seeing other economic issues. The last thing they want to do is buy more expensive oil. So this whole thing has like a giant ripple effect, and it's almost impossible to predict how far these ripples are going to potentially go. Side note, but still kind of related to China and, I don't know, just major, larger deals, trade war stuff, international stuff. Trump to extend the TikTok deadline for the 3rd time, pushing decision out another 90 days. I think it's pretty safe to say that TikTok's just not going to get banned. It sounds like this company is going to just indefinitely get kicked out, another deadline, another deadline, another deadline. So I know every once in a while it pops up in our news, TikTok ban, and is it going to be used as a negotiation piece? But really what's going to happen here is the fact that Trump's personal, I guess, admiration, if you will, for TikTok and what it did for him, especially in the Gen Z base in the last election. I think he has a soft spot in his heart for it, so I just don't think he's going to be getting rid of it, but just wanted to share that. So early this morning, we got the initial jobless claims, came out pretty much at expectation. Forecast was 246, came in at 245. Like I said, pretty much at expectations. So the other thing you have to pay attention today is 2 p.m. ET, 2 hours before the market closes. We get the FOMC decision, and then at 2:30, Jerome Powell will be speaking. Of course, I will be streaming that. Tomorrow, the market is closed in observation of Juneteenth, and then on Friday, the day after the holiday, which is so confusing, it is going to be a OPEX day. It's a quad witching day, triple witching day. So not only do we get the manufacturing numbers, you have a ton of different types of contracts, options and futures and indices and equities, all expiring. The contract dates are up, which just is forcing a bunch of people to be moving their positions. And then I should also remind you that since we're at the end of a business quarter, the week after, really the conclusion of June, the final trading day of June, is when that giant JP Morgan position is going to expire, and then they're going to be forced to roll that. So just wanted to keep everyone updated there. Trump's tariff clock is ticking after the G7 fails to yield deals. So I know in the short term, we're focusing on FOMC. I know we are focusing on quad witching. I know we are focusing on Israel and Iran. But don't forget, in the middle of all that, we're still legitimately in the middle of these trade negotiations. And the deadline is early July. And the only one that we seemingly are getting some information on is the US and UK. And even that, like the China one, we have a framework, but no details there. We're getting reports that Modi from India, he's not too happy. They were supposed to get some sort of deal struck at this G7 thing, or at least start the talks, and that didn't happen. So Summit in Canada was thought to be a place where heads of state could try to break any form of impasse, but it didn't because of Israel, Iran. Trump hightailed it out of there because he had other things to pay attention to. So when things calm down this week, and by the time we come back from the weekend, this is something that we still have to pay attention to across the board. Now, just with switching up gears a little bit with respect to individual equities, I did see some interesting news. Altman says Meta offered OpenAI staffers $100 million bonuses. So once again, we're getting additional news that Meta, Zuckerberg's operation, aka Facebook, is making serious overtures to get into the world of OpenAI. And we've been seeing report after report after report that Zuckerberg himself is standing up the team. It's almost like in a heist movie where they do a whole montage of getting all the right people to be a member of the team. That's where it kind of feels like we're at right now for Meta. So in terms of the medium term, I am excited to see where either Meta is or isn't going. I think it seems like the Bulls are in control here if they could pull off this AI thing. So I just want to throw that out there as an individual equity that I think is worth a place on your watch list in the medium term. Sam Altman says Meta offered OpenAI staff $100 million bonuses as Mark Zuckerberg ramps up AI poaching efforts. While Meta has sought to hire a lot of people from OpenAI, none of its best people have accepted the offers. The news comes amid efforts from Mark Zuckerberg to ramp up Meta AI talent pool. Meta recently hiring Scale AI founder Alex Wang as part of a $14 billion deal. So in the past, we've seen Meta throw a lot of money at very massive things such as the metaverse with the Reality Labs. Some of it has worked. Some of it has clearly not worked. You had things like their glasses, blah, blah, blah. This one, if they could pull it off, I mean, we might be talking about Meta trading cheaply at $700. So do I expect this to be something that plays out overnight? No, it's going to take multiple business quarters to even get the initial inkling of what in the world is going on and is it working or is it not. But like I said, in the medium to longer term, very, very interesting on Meta. Now, if you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter, macros.locals.com. It's 100% free, always been free, always will be free. And I just want to go over the little cheat sheet stuff for today. Today, Wednesday, FOMC interest rate decision at 2 p.m. and then Chair Powell press conference at 2:30. This is going to be a massively important one. You're not going to want to miss this afternoon. Remember, market close tomorrow, and then on Friday, it is quad witching. With respect to seasonality, Today is slightly bearish. Over the past 27 years, the Bulls have won this day 52% of the time, as in the Bears have won it 48, so pretty much 50-50. Profit factor just below 1. Slight downtrend in the hypothetical equity curve you would have if you bought at open, sold at close. So really not much of a seasonal influence on this particular day. And I just want to let you know, to wrap up this trading week on Friday, it's leaning slightly bearish, but once again, there's just not much of a seasonal influence at this moment in time. All right, bringing it back to see how we are in pre-market. All right, a little bit of green in both the SPY and the Qs. The Qs are battling it out at the low from 2 trading sessions ago, while the SPY is just above the closing value from yesterday. Oil a bit elevated, trading at 73.5, while Bitcoin taking a bit of a hit ever since about 2 this morning, and it's going from 105.6 down to 104. So I look at my own trading on this particular day, FOMC days, and my personal trading basically just says to do nothing. It really does say to do nada. It's large swings, as in huge gains and huge losses, but it nets out to, for me personally, there's really no strategy here. It's a crapshoot. It's a 50-50 crapshoot. So if you do choose to trade today, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you make a shitload of money, but this is not my day to be actively trading. So here's my personal plan. Yes, I will give you all these levels to pay attention to, and we could talk about this, and I'll talk about how Captain Condor is back today. But I just want to give you guys an idea of my personal plan. At market open, the way I did yesterday, I'm planning on letting my bots run. I fixed some of the problems that we saw yesterday, so I'm hoping Skynet can once again either do 1 or 2 trades for me right out of the gate. I'm talking about I want to be in and out of the market before 11 a.m. I want to do 1 trade right out of the gate, and then I want to do another trade between 10 and 11, and then that's it. That's going to be the max that I do today. I don't plan on selling any premium. If things go haywire, I might change up some of my swing positions, but I wouldn't be getting into any new positions. I would just be getting out of old positions. So for me, looking at my trading journal and my history of trading on FOMC days, it is simply just not worth it, especially the fact that we have no market trading tomorrow, and then we also have quad witching on Friday. So everything's just a little bit funky right now. So for me personally, that's what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm not your mom. You can do whatever you guys want, and whatever you choose to do, I hope you make a bunch of money. But my goal is to let Skynet run very early this morning, do either 1 or 2 different scalp trades, make a little bit of money in all of my accounts, and then move on with my life. But with all that being said, I know some of you are of very hardcore degenerates, so you still probably want to know the major levels of the day. As always, the green, the red, and the white are the previous trading session, i.e. yesterday's high, low, and close. The white box is the gamma delta transition zone, and then these yellow horizontal lines are the major open interest levels. As of right now, we are scheduled to open up just below 6,000, which, surprise, surprise, is a massive level. It's also within the transition zone. So obviously, if the bulls can recapture that, you'd be looking to the top side around 6,035, which is exactly where Captain Condor is. Captain Condor yesterday was around 11,000. Today, they're coming back. They got blown out yesterday. They're coming back 3x the size, right around 30,000. So the call credit spread of this Iron Condor is at 6,035, and the put credit spread is at 5,915. Obviously, those levels are marked out. It's the top of the transition zone today, and then obviously 5,915 is all the way down here, clearly below the transition zone. And as I alluded to, we are scheduled to open right up just below 6,000, key technical level, key psychological level, key open interest level, and it's also just happens to be right where we're apparently opening up. So paying close attention to that. Maybe the bulls get control and we break out and we retest it. Maybe the bears take control and we break below yesterday's low, set up 59.50, and then below that we have the bottom side of the Captain Condor. Now, couple of things about Captain Condor. As shown yesterday, Captain Condor is not the end-all be-all. Captain Condor is not some large hedge fund with a bunch of quants doing all this sophisticated number crunching. It is a Discord that just has a lot of money in it. It is a retail trading Discord. I want to be very clear. Is this a multi-million-dollar position? Yes. Is it a sophisticated player? Absolutely not. It is, in terms of the market-making mechanics, impactful on what happens throughout the day just because it prompts so much delta and so much gamma. But is this something that you should see it on the chart and be like, man, they just know something I don't know? No, 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 no. It is just a very large Discord. It is not a large, sophisticated hedge fund or anything like that. Imagine us in here, this community. Imagine if we all had 10x the money and we're just doing super degenerate things all together. That's exactly what's playing out here. Like I said, I cannot stress this enough. This is not Citadel, this is not Renaissance, this is not AQR, this is not BlackRock. It is literally just a large Discord with a bunch of money in it. So I want to be clear. Does it have an influence? Without a doubt. It has clearly an influence, but I don't even know if they're net profitable. As many times as we've seen them make money, it seems like the other times we're seeing them get completely blown out and they lose a bunch of money. So I have no knowledge to state if they are net profitable or not, but based on recent performance, it does not seem as if they are. It does not seem as if they are whatsoever. So I just want to throw that out there of like how much, I don't know, consideration you should be putting into those plays. And literally yesterday, they got absolutely clocked. But hey, so did I. Early this morning, momentum a bit sideways, technically slightly bullish across. No, that's kind of bullish up here, slightly bearish down there, bullish, kind of, it's choppy, it's indecisive. The market has no idea which way it wants to go, and that makes a bunch of sense because we don't know what's going on with Israel-Iran, we don't know what's going on with FOMC, we don't know what's going on with the trade war, we don't know what's going on with quadruple witching. It makes a lot of sense that momentum is absolutely nothing right now. So if anything, calm, cool, collected, as I normally pitch to you guys, and then I think for days like today, it is very okay to just sit on your hands and do nothing. Take the time to work on your trading strategies, to get some other work done. And of course, I'm personally excited to sit back and enjoy the fireworks and the insanity and the chaos of the day itself. But you really don't have to be pressured into doing stuff. You really don't. You really, really don't. Why is silver pumping? Because people are buying and selling it at a higher price than they were before. I'm saying that a little bit tongue in cheek because it doesn't matter. Like, you're attempting to try to explain why something is happening is not why you make or lose money. At the end of the day, price is truth. Look at the price. If it's going up, that's because people are buying it and selling it at a higher price than they previously were. If it's going down, it's because people in aggregate, whether it's hedge funds, institutions, insurance funds, retail, it doesn't matter. They're buying and selling it at a lower price than they were before. As to why those people are making those decisions, I mean, there's millions and millions of traders, counting all the bots, this, that, the other thing. You don't know why they're doing it. You don't know if it's based off fundamentals, off of technicals, off of risk, off of news interpretation, off of fat finger mistakes. It does not matter. Of course you can, if you want, you can try to explain and be like, okay, I think in aggregate people are buying or selling because of this, but think about it. It's just an infinite amount of variables. You don't know. Is it a fundamental change? Are they day traders? Are they swing traders? Is it a bank that is just getting blown out on their risk? Or is some guy done for the year because he already got his bonus and he's just closing out? There's literally an infinite amount of variables of why people are doing what they're doing at any moment of time. So to say, like, why is silver going up? Well, most likely it's because people are using it as a hedge, a flight to safety, most likely, but also does it matter? That's the important thing. Does it matter why it's going up? Or is a better question, okay, what's a reasonable, actionable trade that you could use to take advantage of it to make money yourself? To me, that's a far more useful question of how can you use that movement? Is there a good risk reward setup for you to capitalize on it? That's a better question than why is it going up? You don't make money off of why something goes up or down. You make money when you're bullish and it goes up, or you're bearish and it goes down. It's a better question. It is a far, far, far better question. And on that note, we are opening up in a couple seconds. Like I told all of you, my plan, right here. All right, let me switch this up. As you can see, I have not traded at all today. No trades for me, amigo. My plan, I am a man with a plan. Did I enable this? I did not. Okay. Fuck.
Order submitted.
That No, that's not right. Wait, why would that have done that? It was supposed to be on. This was supposed to... What the fuck? That's not right. Fuck. That makes no sense whatsoever. That absolutely makes no sense of why that fired. That one's a technical issue. This program doesn't even do anything intra-bar action. It only does an analysis on bar close. So the fact that's a weird issue on Ninja's side that fired. Like, this system is literally built to only do an analysis when the bar actually closes. And obviously I turned it on in the middle of minute 1. Why the fuck would it auto fire like that? Well, I guess that's a good lesson to make sure that all my boxes are checked before. Yeah, you coded it. I did code it, and I 100% coded it. It only does an analysis on bar close. So the fact that it tried to do something, hey, it still made money. But the fact that it tried to do something in the middle of a bar creation is the issue. That's the issue, folks. And that wasn't even the trade. Well, now I'm nervous to actually do the trade. I think it was going to go short here at 61. Not I think. I know it was going to go short there at 61. And I think it would have hit. Nah, whatever. Once again, it fucked up, but it worked. So on all 30 accounts, I have 20 Apex, and then I have 20 take profit, or excuse me, 10 take profit. So about 100 per account. So I just made about 3K. Just made about 3K. All right, so let me see. Okay, I got nervous there because I was turning that one on, and I was worried that it was going to fire, but alas, it did not. It did not, it did not, it did not. So did the random trade work, which that was a weird Ninja issue because it only should be running on bar close, and it ran in the middle of the bar, and I just got lucky that it kept going my way. And the actual trade would have been this breakdown at 61, and as you could tell, I would currently be up quite a bit of money. So anyway, it ended up working out. It'd be the exact same profit anyway, so like not much of a difference. I'm just surprised that turning that on. Let me check something. Let me check one thing. Strange. Very, very strange. Very, very strange. Okay. I suppose it is what it is. It is what it is, team. All right, we got that. All right, and the other one is on, and the Apex copier is still where I need it. Okay, I think we are good to go now. So a little bit of a misstep there, but whatever. Locked in just under 3K because it looks like there was a little bit of slippage or whatever the fuck it was. But okay, cool. Decent start. Decent start. And we are already at that red-green move. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Bitcoin's getting hit. Netflix is in the green. I like that. I would like for Meta to hold 700, and unfortunately it got smacked at 699.5. Avago's up. I'll take that. Netflix is the biggest gainer on my watch list. Meta trying to go a bit green. Avago's green. What else is green? ASML is green. Do we see a Texas Roadhouse is green? Bonds are up a little bit. Gold's up a little bit. But yeah, as of right now, the winner on my watch list is energy, which is not surprising. And then Netflix. Netflix up about 1%. The SPY and the Qs out of the gate quickly vomited to yesterday's closing value. Very quickly vomited. Man, I could have held that and made way more money. I was short here at like 75 or something. I could have been up nicely today. Nicely. Why in the fuck did that not work? I could have double dipped and actually taken the actual trade today too, and then I would have been up 200 per account, so I would have been up just below 6K. But whatever. I'm ready for one more trade, and that's pretty much it. And I'm happy that it didn't randomly auto fire, but I'm ready. I'm ready. Bounce right off this closing value. Not a bad deal. Huh. Okay, bearish. That's not so good. Bearish. That momentum is currently favoring the bears. Not exactly what you'd want to be seeing. Tesla somehow back in the green. Super far away from where I need it. As to how much does this matter right now? Honestly, not a lot, because what's going to really matter, vol is going to remain high. It's really tough to sell premium today because you're going to get no decay between now and 2 because vol will just remain so incredibly high. So if you want to do a couple scalp trades, like whatever, premium selling is tough because vol is not going to decay. Premium buying is tough because you have no clue how the markets are going to react at 2. So it's just one of those days that, how lucky are you? How lucky are you? Are you on the right side flipping the coin, or are you on the wrong side? So if you're on the right side, you can make a lot of money. If you're on the wrong side, you could lose quite a bit of money. It very much comes back to how lucky are you feeling today? OpenAI starts selling ChatGPT at a discount. ChatGPT discounts range from 10 to 20%. Okay, the market on open imbalance is positive for the S&P 500, negative for the NASDAQ, positive for the Dow. So tech, a little bit of selling on the market on open. Tech, a little bit of selling. All right. Here's a look at the flow on the day. Let me reload this so you can, Captain Condor is playing. I already gave you the levels for Captain Condor. Thus far out of the gate, SPY Delta slightly down while the Mag 7 was down. And right now it's actually getting a pretty decent pop. Tesla's actually getting a nice pop right there. A nice old pop. Okay. Tesla. Wow. Going from 315 to 320 like it's nothing. Netflix is green, but it's not. Actually, now Tesla's the biggest gainer on my watch list. Netflix is kind of going flat, a little bit boring. I would love to see Tesla get all the way back up to 330. That's a very important gamma level. Meta, I would love to see it get back above 700. Broadcom, honestly, the higher the better. Palantir is now in the green. All right, so we have a little bit of a change of tune, if you will. A little bit. How's this flow? Mag 7 is climbing. Let me check one thing over here. Okay, cool. We're ready to go. So SPY finding some buyers, finding some demand at the previous closing value, and somewhat the same on the NASDAQ right here. We puked below the closing value, went from green to slightly red, and some buyers are attempting to step in right now. You're seeing a bit more dominance in the options market for whatever reason. At 937, you're seeing that nice pop. S&P 500 a little bit more flat. Avago turning it back around. Tesla leading the way higher. Netflix, maybe a little bit of a pop. Both Tesla and Netflix up just over 1%. Avago not far behind. Meta barely green. Nvidia barely red. Microsoft barely red. So we have some stuff right around that closing value. But what we see outpacing the rest of the market really is Tesla and Netflix at the moment. But there's a lot of time left in the day. A lot of time left in the day. Stocks are a little change as new developments in the Middle East. Well, hang on. What are the developments? Are we missing anything? Yeah, we all know. Okay, the unconditional surrender. Okay, I don't really think there's that many new developments. I think they're playing a little loosey-goosey with that. A little loosey-goosey. Avago and Tesla are fighting back. Netflix is nice on the day, but intraday not moving the most. Getting a little bit of a V-shaped thing going on in the NASDAQ, and if the SPY pops, potentially also there. Potentially also there. All right, we have clear. If we take out the intraday high, momentum might flip from bearish to bullish. It will be interesting to see if we could take out whatever these 9 a.m. highs are. Yeah, the 9 a.m. Everything is like right at its EMA. Right at its EMA. Right now, the bears are in control in terms of momentum, but if you look at the options flow, options is showing a little bit more strength. Well, the SPY is flat, but we are seeing strength in the MAG 7. So we are attempting to recover, and surprise, surprise, we are hanging out just on top of the close in the choppy gamma delta zone. We're within the white box, and just ahead on top of us, we have this massive level at 6,000. So that'll be a major watch for me today if we get a little bit of follow through. A little bit of follow through. Tesla. Wow. Already a $6 pop on old Tesla. A $6 pop. Why can't we see a $6 pop on Meta as well? Actually, I would love for everything to have a $6 pop right about now. That would make my life quite a bit easier. SPY slightly up. Mag 7 still climbing on the delta. Oh, by the way, if you want to get 80% off on Spot Gamma, you could check it out. 80% off discount for the first month. $49. This is a great opportunity to try it out. I honestly have no idea how people do day trading or scalp trading without seeing the entire options landscape. I've used many tools in the past, and I'm telling you, Spot Gamma, it's not just the best, it's the best by a country mile, folks. I've used them all, and when it comes to option analytics, truly, there is nothing that is more robust, more accurate, and more useful than Spot Gamma. And like I said, we are the only community that is getting this deal right now. You could get 80% off. To check it out, it's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Just use that link, and you'll be able to kind of give it that test drive for a very sizable discount. And it would be way too difficult to trade without just the prevalence right now of option trading, the popularity of option trading. I don't know how people do it without it. I really don't. Nothing even remotely close to Spot Gamma. Yeah, I've used them all, folks. I've spent thousands of dollars on this stuff, thousands of dollars on all the different services, and the most popular ones that you've never heard of. I'm telling you, it's not even close how much better Spot Gamma is. Not even close. Tesla's still climbing. Avago's looking good. Netflix, a little bit of a pop there. Meta's now in the green. Meta just tagged 700. I like that. I like to see what's going on there. Right. If this does get popping, even in this morning, I think a test of 6,000 is very realistic. I just think the market would be interested in examining the supply and demand at that exact important psychological level. Also a massively important open interest level. But it looks like the belle of the ball, at least of market open, is Tesla. Just at 9:35, someone turned on the buy engine because this thing just took off. If you're just joining in right now, I've done one trade today. Well, I should say the bot did one trade, and it was not as planned, but hey, it worked out. It kind of failed successfully, if you will, but ended up making $100 on all 30 accounts, or just under $100. So I made just under 3K, and I am willing to do, well, it kind of depends on the time. I'm anticipating that it'll take at least one trade, but I really want to be done with all of this by 11 a.m. So by the end of today's first show, I want to be completely wrapped up and done with my trading 100% on the day. That is what my plan is. And will things go according to plan? I don't know. I'll tell you better afterwards. But as of right now, I believe it should be about one more trade, and hopefully that bot doesn't mess up, but should be about one more trade. And then ideally I am donezo. But sometimes the market makes you do stupid things. So we're going to find out if I'm actually disciplined enough to follow this today. Find out if I'm actually disciplined enough. We will find out. What's this flow? The Mag 7 still looking pretty decent. SPY, it's a bullish trend, but it's only a slight bullish trend. Are we going for that 6,000 test? What time is it? It is 9:46. We almost are getting the 15-minute Orbo breakout.
Order submitted.
All right, the bot is taking the Orbo breakout on SPX. Well, it's doing it on NQ. But at the second we just got above that opening value, it went long. All right, trade number 2, which means at max it would be 3. At max it would be 3. I think. Yeah, definitely. At max it would be 3. So taking the Orbo breakout, the 15-minute Orbo breakout on SPX, executing it via NQ, just because it's a little bit more levered, a little bit more snappy. Oh, come on. Hit it. Orbo breakout. Bada bing, bada boom. 2 for 2 on the day. That one was a pretty basic strategy. Like I said, opening range breakout, break down the Orbo. We had the 15-minute Orbo right there. It broke above that minute high on SPX. Reading SPX triggered it on NQ. To be completely honest, that is not my favorite strategy by any means. But hey, it paid. It paid. Why am I giving away the strategies to you? I have no idea. I probably shouldn't be giving you the exact reasoning and logic. I guess I'm not. I didn't necessarily give the reasoning or the logic for the price target, and more importantly, the risk, and most importantly, there's filters on. It's not just going to arbitrarily take every Orbo. There's other filters of does it want to be on that side, and I think this one is pretty evident of why it wanted to take it. Look at that trend. I think that one's pretty obvious, if I do say so myself. But hey, whoa, Tesla's still going. All right, I would love for Meta to get on top and hold 700 successfully. Maybe my visions of grandeur of Tesla, the major gamma influx point on Tesla. Well, here, I'll double check. Let me show you why you should be on spot gamma, is because you get to do really cool shit like this, like figure out where the major levels are. Every single day people come in here and they're dumbfounded by it. How do I like call out the levels of reaction? Well, it's just looking at this. Right here, 330, massive positive gamma node. That represents a black hole-esque type of a situation. A lot of mean reverting trading, like right here. This is just one of many reasons why you should be on spot gamma. But seeing this major level, and then if it can fall from there, all of a sudden, you might have this opportunity to fall into some negative gamma, which really starts at 335, and then there's a massive high vol point, the most negative gamma, all the way up at 375. So In the event that we can break and hold above 330, 335, yes, it becomes a very real opportunity to get 375 or 380. Obviously, I'm not talking about a day trade or even a short-term trade. That would obviously be like a medium duration swing trade. But just to give you a little bit of a quick and dirty breakdown on how to read some of this option stuff, we are looking to fall. Imagine a ball falling down a mountain. We're at the peak. Well, we're trying to get up to the peak, so it takes quite a bit of energy. But once we can get over this hump, it's nothing but just moving potential to kinetic energy, falling all the way down to the high vol point. So like literally think about like gravity would be helping us. And in this case, gravity is the market makers assisting it all the way up to here. And then you kind of get caught at that point. So like I said, a little quick and dirty explanation of what in the hell is going on. It's another explanation of why I absolutely love spot gamma. Absolutely. I truly don't know how people would trade without it. Meta getting that pop. Okay, cool. And it does look like SPX is trying to go up and examine this 6,000 level. If you're a day trader, scalp trader, I would very much anticipate a rejection there because there's going to be a lot of zero DTE players. We see the Mag 7 popping. We see the SPY popping who are going to say, cool, that's their target. And you're just going to have profit taking there. Now, there might be enough demand afterwards to keep it going higher. But if you're kind of like me on an FOMC day saying, hey, man, I just want to get in and out early in the morning and not even mess with it the rest of the day, this generic region would be obviously your very first target. I think that's an obvious one. I think that goes without saying. But hey, like I said, you do you. You do you. So the Meta having a touch time at 700. Tesla, as of now, taking a breather at 323. Tesla's up 1.9%. Netflix is up 1%. Avago, Palantir, Meta, and NVIDIA are showing slight green. So is ASML, Microsoft, MSTR showing slight red. Even Apple's in the green today. CoreWeave is getting hit. That was one of the only winners yesterday, really. And now it's definitely reverting a bit, probably more than some of you in here would like to see it. Bonds are up. So yields are coming down. Gold slightly up. Okay, the SPY, yeah, it's going to this first target. All right. Do not be surprised if we get rejected in the short term because you're going to have profit taking here. People love reacting to key levels. They very much love reacting to key levels. And because a lot of humans react to key levels, bots have learned that. And now bots react to these key psychological levels. So be careful here. Be careful. I'm hoping that we get a massive follow through. But like I said, if you're like, dude, I just want to do one trade early this morning, that would so obviously be it. And if you're joining in right now, I've done 2 trades today, making about $200 per account. I have 30 accounts, so just below 6K, somewhere between 5 and 6K up. And I am basically good to do one more trade. I want to be done by 11 a.m. today. I would love for all these to read about $300. That's about 9K. So, hey, we might as well round that up and call it a 10K day. If you can lock in 10K before the FOMC meeting, what's the point in taking any additional risk? You know, sometimes you have to consider that downside, especially when you have just a binary event, multiple binary events today with a lot of unknowns on top of just the craziness of the world. So no matter how I really think about it, today is very, very, very much a day where I just want to get in, make my money, and get the fuck out. So that's what I plan on doing. That is what I plan on doing. SPY, the Qs. Yeah, we sold for the first 4 minutes, and then ever since then is that Nike swoosh recovery. That Nike swoosh. All right, we're at 6,000. We're at the first target level. We are at that first target level. I'm kind of afraid to open up my swing account after what happened yesterday, but I guess I should do it. Okay, it's bad, but not as bad as I thought it would be. It is bad, but not completely horrible. We're seeing a little, wow, it's almost as if people started taking their profits at a key level. If only the world's best trader on this side of the Mississippi, offered words of wisdom to everyone paying attention that there would be profit taking at this key level. Jesus. Folks, this shit is almost too easy. This shit is almost too easy. So obvious. If you just got caught up in that and you're like now punching the air, you truly have no one to blame but yourself. I mean, that was... It doesn't get much more obvious than that. It really doesn't. It really, really doesn't get much more evident than that play right there. But maybe someday everyone will learn. All right, momentum back on the bullish side on the 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, but not the 4-hour. On the NASDAQ, barely back on the bullish side on the 5 and the 10. The 30's fighting it out, and the 4 hours also currently neutral. Just trying to wait. Just trying to have a little bit of patience and see who really starts to dominate today. All right. Mag 7, huge pop from 937 up until about 953, going a little bit sideways. And then on the SPY, a pop till about same thing, 953. Now going a little bit flat here. The question is it gonna, how much strength does it have for this second test? This will be the telling piece. Is it just a nice, easy, higher low and we pop, or does it have a deeper pullback and base and then we get a second test? Patience, 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 young grasshoppers. Patience, patience, patience. Meta could be doing better. Actually, we have Broadcom now waking up almost 1%. Trump, Fed's Powell probably won't cut today. Well, we already know that. That one's pretty evident. Trump, Fed's Powell has done a poor job. Probably won't cut today. If the Fed would lower rates, we would buy debt for a lot less. Speaks to the report. He's speaking to reporters at the White House. Is he live right now? Would be nice to get get 2.5 points lower off of 4.25. Dude, those are visions of grandeur. Those are visions of grandeur. Where is he talking right now? Where is he talking? So Hegseth is doing a testimony. I don't know if it's live at... Wait.
Understood that I knew what I was doing. But now
yeah,
we
here's
have
Trump.
A man that just refuses to lower the Fed rate. Just refuses to do it. And he's not a smart person. I don't even think he's that political. I think he hates me, but that's okay. You know, he should.
Whether you like him or not, he is very smart. You don't become the chairman of the Fed without being absurdly intelligent. Like I said, that doesn't mean you have to like the person. You might not agree with him, but to say he's not smart, that's insane.
I'm nasty. I'm nice. Nothing works. He's like just a stupid person. But I don't expect anything. Maybe he does a little bit, but we should be 2.5 points. Remember, Europe had 10 cuts. We had none. We're paying more rate, more interest than a lot of European
Tesla's
nations
still going.
that can't carry our suitcase. I'm going to be nice. There's another expression. You know what the other expression, can't carry your, you know what it is, but I shouldn't use it in front of the Fed. So it's very sad to see it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go very short term, like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. Wait till this guy gets out, get the rates way down, and then go long term. Because we have a tremendous
Tesla,
appetite
dude.
for our debt. Because our country is doing well. But think of it, I got a call from Congress 3 nights ago. Sir, we can't account for the money coming in. I said, that's a good problem. You know, the bad problem is we don't have any money. They can't account. There's so much more money than we thought is coming into the Treasury. We don't know where it's coming from, sir. I said, check out the tariffs. He calls back about a day later. Wow. I think you were right. Yeah, I was right. That's nothing. You haven't seen anything yet. More importantly than the money coming in, we have factories being built, AI, auto factories. 2 of them stopped yesterday in Mexico, you read. And they're coming here because they don't want to pay the tariffs. They can't pay the tariffs. It doesn't work. So I just want to wish you a lot of luck with the new flagpole. We have 2 of them. And we're going to do this one now, then we're going to do the other one, 11 o'clock or so. We're going to have a flag raising, which would be great. And I got to get these guys back to work. They're making a fortune. They're standing around making a fortune. But remember this, somewhere in this group is somebody that is going to captivate some movie producer. Not Harvey Weinstein, but somebody else. Harvey's seen a better day. So it won't be Harvey, but it'll be somebody. And it'll say, that guy is perfect for a movie. And you're going to become a star, and your friends are going to call you, and you won't even return their phone call.
Are we joking about Harvey Weinstein?
You say, what do you do for a living? I put up flagpoles. I'm not even going to talk to you. I'm a big movie star. So somewhere you have that. Anyway, let's have a good, they call it a lifting. They also use another word, but I'm not going to use that word. You know what that is? The word, it starts with an E. You know what the word is? If I ever used it, I'd be run out of town by you people. All right, so enjoy it. Doug, you're going to get some good. He's going to win another Nobel Prize, I think, for this picture. So maybe the flag will be even more exciting. But this is pretty exciting. That's some equipment, I'll tell you what. Look at that crane. That's some beautiful equipment. It's there's nothing like America. Have a good time, everybody.
Have you just answered questions about whether you are moving closer, or you believe the U.S. is moving closer to striking Iranian nuclear facilities? Where's your mindset on that?
I can't say that, right? You don't seriously think I'm going to answer that question? Will you strike the Iranian nuclear component? And what time exactly, sir? Sir, would you strike it? Would you please inform us so we can be there and watch? I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction. Why didn't you negotiate? I said to the people, why didn't you negotiate with me 2 weeks ago? You could have done fine. You would have had a country. It's very sad to watch this. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's so, everyone thought it was going to be the reverse. I didn't think so. And I was telling them, you gotta do something. You gotta negotiate. And at the end, last minute, they said, no, we're not going to do that, and they got hit. Remember 60 days, and then came the 60. 61 is going to become a very famous number. That was one hell of a hit. That first hit, that was one hell of a hit. Not sustainable, to be honest. That's where it ended. It ended on the first night. Yes.
Is it too late, though? Do you think it's too late to now?
Not really. Nothing's too late. The only thing too late is Powell. Powell's too late. Too late, Powell.
The only thing too late is
Mr. President?
What?
Have the Iranians reached out to you?
Yes.
And what did they say?
I said it's very late. I said it's very late to be talking.
Mr. President.
We may meet. It's. I don't know. There's a big difference between now and a week ago, right? Big difference.
President, you said you may just about said we may meet. Is this about Vance and Wickoff possibly going to talk about?
It's about anybody. They even suggested they come to the White House. It's a big difference. But they've suggested that they come to the White House. That's, courageous.
Shout out,
but,
Alan.
it's not easy for them to do. But they suggested, because I can't go now because of what's going on. I had to come back early from the G7, which was terrific, by the way, in Canada. Really terrific. Good people.
Is there a possibility of next week or sooner that you're
Well, I don't know how much longer it's going to go
fan
on.
of the
they're totally
trade that the
defenseless.
bot
They have
just
no
took, just because
air
Trump is
defense
talking,
whatsoever.
and based on what he does or doesn't
Totally
say.
captured. We've totally captured the air, Brian.
Mr. President, you've been fairly compassionate towards the Iranian people.
I have been. It's human. The human beings. I know a lot of people from Iran, from New York, from Washington, mostly from New York. They're incredible
Not
people.
the
They're
biggest
smart.
fan. Just
They're energetic.
feels like he could say
They can be
anything
difficult,
that
but
gets
so
the
can
market
you.
to pop, to drop.
No, they're great people. They're smart people. And those people are getting the hell beat out of them now. And it's really a shame. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's another one, Russia, Ukraine is so stupid. Would have never happened if I was president. You guys agree with that, right? Would have never happened if I was president. Putin would have never done it. And I spoke to him yesterday, and I said, he actually offered to help mediate. I said, do me a favor. Mediate your own. Let's mediate Russia first, okay? I said, Vladimir, let's mediate Russia first. You can worry about this later. But I think that's going to work out too, but so many people have been killed. The big thing with that one is far more people are dead than have been reported. in the Ukraine,
Bravato's
Russia,
going.
many more people.
Mr.
A building
President,
falls
what
down, they
does,
say nobody was hurt. You know, so.
what does unconditional surrender mean?
Well, you know what it means. Unconditional
Can you
surrender.
explain it for
Two
those who
very simple
don't?
words. Very simple. Unconditional surrender. That means I've had it. Okay, I've had it. I give up. No more. Then we go blow up all the all the nuclear stuff that's all over the place there. No, they had bad intentions. You know, for 40 years they've been saying death to America, death to Israel, death to anybody else that they didn't like. They were bullies. They were schoolyard bullies. And now they're not bullies anymore, but we'll see what happens. Look, nothing's finished until it's finished. You know, war is very complex. A lot of bad things can happen. A lot of turns are made. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that we won anything yet. I would say that we sure as hell made a lot of progress. And we'll see. The next week is going to be very big. Maybe less than a week. Maybe less. But is there anybody here that said it would be okay to have a hostile, very, zealots really, but to have a hostile country have a nuclear weapon that could destroy 25 miles, but much more than that, could destroy other nations just by the breeze blowing the dust. You know, that dust blows to other nations and they get decimated. This is just not a threat you can have. And we've been threatened by Iran for many years. You know, if you go back and look at my history, if you go back 15 years, I was saying we cannot let Iran get a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time. I mean it more now than I ever meant it. Yeah.
Mr. President, a question on deportations, Mr. President. You said last week that changes would be coming for farmers who have seen a lot of the workers they rely on taken away. But then DHS said this week that worksite enforcement would remain in place, that it's a cornerstone. So what's your message to farmers?
Everybody's right. Look, we got to get the bad people out of here first, and we're doing that. We're taking them out by the thousands. Murderers, drug dealers, people that are mentally insane from insane asylums. What they gave to us, fellas, they gave. Oh, do we have anybody in here that's a member? No, I don't think so. You've known all these people for a long time. Any illegal immigrants in here? If they were, they'll find out.
Right.
They'll be checking you. You won't believe it. Your whole life will be destroyed because of this press conference. Watch. They'll destroy these people. I didn't want to tell them that before this did happen. They'll end up being, he's a so-and-so. This one is from you know where. Don't worry. I think you're going to be okay. I'll be right behind you. Far behind you. I'll be right behind you. Now look, we have to take care of our farmers. We have to take care of people that run leisure, hotels. I mean, we have to take care of them. But most importantly, we have to get the criminals out of our country. And Biden let in thousands and 11,888 murderers. Many of them murdered more than one person. Can you believe it? Many, almost 50% of them murdered more than one person. He let them into our country. They emptied out the jails of countries from all over the world, from the Congo, from Venezuela, from all over the place. They emptied out the jails, many of them. I would. If I were running one of the countries, I would have emptied out my prison population into the U.S., and many countries did. And we're getting them out. Okay, we're getting them out. Thank you very much. Let's watch this. Brian, go ahead. Are you okay?
I'm just going to follow up on the immigration real quickly.
Yeah.
Can you comment on the impact of the Trump card and how much of that is?
Yeah, we have a thing called the Trump card. This has not been done before or thought of. And for $5 million, this is usually people that would either be working for companies like Apple, I think, is going to buy a lot of them, because they can't get people into the country. You know, if you come in through the southern border, you have no problem. You can be a criminal, you can be a drug dealer, and you have no problem. But if you go and graduate number one in your class from a great school, you can't get a job because there's no access to getting it. You can't get a green card.
Next level is 6023.
So we're going to sell
yesterday's high if we hold 6,000.
In some cases,
if we hold
wealthy, in some cases
6,000,
not
that's
wealthy.
the
They'll be paid
target.
for by
Kind of a low
universities.
risk
Look at
setup.
Harvard. They got $53 billion. That whole thing is coming to an end. It's amazing what we found out. What a disgrace. They have $53 billion. We gave them 5, 6, and some people say it's as much as $9 billion over a short period of time. So that's very much coming to it. They want to make a deal more than, I would say Harvard wants to make a deal more than Iran wants to make a deal, and Iran wants to make a deal. I mean, a lot of things are happening on a lot of fronts, Brian. A lot of good things are happening. And frankly, you know, it's a little bit of a as we used to say liberal, now they say progressive. I use the word liberal. Progressive's too nice a word because they're destroying the country. They're really destroying these liberal politicians are destroying our country. Look what they've done during Biden's 4 years. I mean, we're working on, so much of our effort goes to getting people out of the country that should have never been here in the first place. What he's done to this country, it's not him. He had no idea what was going on. Everybody knows that. It's other people. It's Lisa and this one and that, all these people, all this scum that was around the Oval, the Oval Office or around the beautiful Resolute desk telling this guy, here, do this, do that, and not even telling him. They just go over to the auto pen and sign whatever the hell they wanted to sign. Because say what you want about Biden, he wasn't for open borders. He wasn't for transgender for everybody. He wasn't for men playing in women's sports. But he has no idea what the hell, he has no idea. And they were very upset. They wanted Bernie Sanders. And after about a week of this guy, they said, wait a minute, we just hit gold. This guy has no clue. He'll do anything we tell him. And then they realized they don't even have to get permission. They just go up to the auto pen. That's a subversion. That's a takeover of our government. And you people ought to start looking at it. That's a takeover. Not only did they cheat, I guess you saw yesterday came out with China and the license plates. Tens of thousands of cards. They used those cards to vote on the second election, my second, the one 2020. Because as everybody here knows, I won that election by a lot. But the only good thing I can say is this is a much more historic term than I think I could have had as a second term. This is a much more historic election. And now we're going to put up a beautiful flagpole, and we're going to put up a flag. And I hope you enjoy it. And let's see how real people work. These are real people. You're not real people. Your job is too easy. Okay?
Last one around, Mr. President.
How tall is the flagpole?
Close to 100 feet.
Real quick on Pakistan, sir. You have a meeting today with the Pakistani Army Chief of Staff. What are you looking forward to achieving diplomatically?
Well, I stopped a war between Pakistan. I love Pakistan. I think Modi is a fantastic man. I spoke to him last night. We're going to make a trade deal with Modi of India. But I stopped the war between Pakistan and India. This man was extremely influential in stopping it from the Pakistan side, Modi from the India side, and others. And they were going at it, and they're both nuclear countries. I got it stopped. I don't think I had one story. Did I have one story written about it? I stopped the war between two major nations, major nuclear nations. I don't think I had a story written about it, but that's okay. You know why? The people know. The people know.
Mr. President.
Did anybody write that story about the war? Did you write it?
We wrote one.
We all wrote it.
Did you write it?
Yeah. Just one more on
You
your
wrote it.
President.
On the flagpole, sir.
When does your patience run out with?
Adjustments that need to be made for Marine One departures and arrivals?
No, we put it so that Marine One is very far away. We did it in conjunction with the Air Force, with everybody, and everybody signed off on it. Now we have to have it far away. It's very far from Marine One's out there. It's out in the field. So you have to have a certain distance. We're about 3 times that distance. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Prime Minister Netanyahu.
That was President Trump in the South Lawn of the White House. They are putting up 2 flagpoles there. So we got some comments from President Trump. He commented on the Federal Reserve, commented on Russia, Ukraine, the Middle East. So a wide-ranging Q&A session with the reporters out there. But that is on the South Lawn of the White House. All right, Alex Steele, Paul Sweeney. We are live here in our Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio. We are streaming live on YouTube as well. This is the Bloomberg Intelligence Program. We're going to get things started in earnest. We're going to kick it all off with John Tucker, and we're going to get a Bloomberg Business Flash, John.
All right, so we have stocks higher right now. This Bloomberg Business Flash being brought to you by Interactive Brokers. Trade over 10,000 U.S. stocks and ETFs, U.S. equity index options, U.S. treasuries, and more on your timetable. Learn more at ibkr.com/around the clock. You heard the president say Iran has reached out. So that's kind of bolstering speculation. The war with Israel is going to de-escalate. So that's leading right now to risk on. S&P 500 up 23 points. That's up 0.4%. 6,006 on the index. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 150 points right now. The NASDAQ 190 points higher. That is up 0.4%. And ahead of the Fed decision, 2 p.m. Wall Street time, we'll carry that live. Labor market data showing jobless claims ticking down last week. Well, housing starts, they slid to a 5-year low. The Fed widely expected to leave rates unchanged for a fourth straight meeting. And the possibility, consumer discretionary right now, that is the best performing industry group in the S&P 500, home to Tesla, that was up about 2.5%. And Nippon Steel closing its $14.1 billion takeover of United States Steel. In the meantime, Cameron Dawson at New Edge Wealth says stocks will just kind of muddle through the coming months.
We do think that we are stuck in what we've been calling all year long the talking heads market.
All right. Thus far, the opening session has been decently strong. We opened up, quickly touched yesterday's closing value, popped up to the next key level of the day. 6,000 was so obvious. Psychological, technical, open interest, gamma, delta, you name it. 6,000 had it. No surprise we ran into it. Had a pullback, and then around the change of the hour, right around 10:02, we got a big pop followed by another pop. Second test of it. This time you can see we put in a clear higher low at 10:07 relative to 10:01. So the higher low was put in on top of 6,000, and then since then, obviously higher high, higher high. So we're going to see if this trend continues. There might be a little bit of messiness in there, but my next level would be yesterday's high value of 6,023, and on the SPY that's equivalent to 601.75, and on the Qs that's 533.33. So that's what I'm looking at. Tesla had a nice pump right out of the gate, going from 316 up to 325, running into some profit taking there. And Avago is not only having a great intraday action, but it's actually about to have a nice technical breakout. You could see that here. We're about to be breaking out of the shelf of the past 3 trading sessions. Actually, we did just touch it. Above 3, what was that? 355.19. Okay, so we were within 5 cents of it. So as soon as it takes out 255, well, literally we're at it right there. Boom, you heard it. All right, the next one is 257.89, and then you have the upside gap fill to Thursday, June the 5th low at 259.08. So basically, we're talking about the high 250s as the next interesting level, but Avago, Broadcom, semiconductor space, having a pretty freaking good day, and that is leading the SPY higher. It's leading the Qs higher. Meta, I don't like that Meta's not holding above 700. I prefer this be at like 710 or something like that. Nvidia is also climbing. Netflix got hit. I'd prefer that be above 1250. Palantir maybe turning around. Microsoft finally catching a bid. ASML, nice recovery there. Oh, how's my stuff looking? All right, thus far, the bot trades on the day have been a little bit messy. So thus far, 2 for 3. The third one that was a hit was pretty sizable. The realized gain right now is down 650, but I do have a runner that's about to put me back at break even on the day. So currently long at 22.02. So this little dip here was just enough to really trip me up. And then obviously when it went the other side, it kind of did the old flipper-rooski, and now we are just running it. But we're going for it. We're going for 22,090. I do feel as if I should put a stop in or something. I feel like I need to protect this to a certain degree. So the current runner is up about 650 per account, which is putting me at net break even on the day. And then obviously it's apparently reaching for a little bit more, which would put me up very positively on the day. I don't think this is an OCO. I don't think this is an order cancels order. So I'm just thinking about the downside protection, because being red on the day on an FOMC day, I don't want, like, especially because we're in such a headline-driven environment that at any moment it could pop or drop dramatically, and I just don't want to get. I wouldn't mind the pop; that would be awesome. But I already have my profit target in. I'm more worried about the downside protection at the moment. That is what I am watching. We are nicely climbing though. Avago's taken off. Well, Tesla, yeah, here, I'll put an alert on an intraday breakout on Tesla. Actually, let's just do a run up to 325. That's where I want to see if it could recover. What else do we have moving on the day? Netflix maybe turning back around. Palantir not doing much. Meta, the battle's happening right now at 700 on Meta. It is happening right now. Oh, you could see here at 9:54, that was the 30-minute Orbo high for both the SPY and the Qs. Both broke out in the bullish direction. And actually the same could be said about the 15-minute Orbo as well. So that's pretty cool. Hey, we're going. We're going. Come on. Bring me to the promised land. Bring your boy to the promised land. Let's go. 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 Come on. Let's get that follow through. Let's get that follow through. All right. I know a lot of you guys, if you saw the Power Hour show yesterday, you guys, for whatever reason, refused to help me out. You were not putting your rockets or your magnets on your chart, which, if you ask me, was complete and utter bullshit. But I will be a benevolent dictator of this digital kingdom, and I will allow you guys an opportunity to help me out here and save a little bit of face from yesterday. Let's throw those magnets on. Let's throw those rocket ships on. And I'm not even being that greedy. I'm just saying for a little bit of a push up to 90 here. We have about 15 points to go. Come on, folks. You know, you guys can earn it back. You guys can earn it back. We caught a nice runner here. This is what happens when you go fishing. This is what happens when you go fishing, folks. Sometimes you catch a big one. Sometimes you catch a big one. What is this? A Senate hearing on who is really running Biden's White House. Jesus. They are popping off with whatever. No. No, we were supposed to keep going. We were supposed to keep going. We were supposed to keep going. Okay, so I believe 60. This horizontal line. I think that's my break even on my account on the day. So obviously this individual trade is up quite a bit, but just seeing the realized versus the unrealized, roughly above this blue horizontal line, my account is the overall net situation is green if above. And then obviously this is my target, slightly undershooting 22,100. Like I said, I very much plan, hopefully this trade hits in the positive direction all the way up here. And then I plan on being done on the day. That is the plan. Will the plan work out the way I want it to? I have absolutely no clue. Your crystal ball probably works better than mine, but that is my plan. This is my target. I want it to hit, and then I just want to be done. Like I told you guys, I want to be done by 11 a.m. today, and just judging on the fact that it's 10:22, I probably won't take another trade anyway, and also this would just be a really nice profit. So this is gonna be it, ideally, unless I go on tilt and I throw my discipline out of the window. Unless I go on tilt. Fuck, that is not what I wanted to see. Come on, where are we at? 6,011, 6,012. Yeah, we got that pop there at 10:20. What was that announcement? We have some news. Trump, I told Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu to keep going. Trump asked if he told Israel's Prime Minister that the U.S. would help more. He said no. That came out 21 seconds ago. Trump on Security Council meeting. It was a good meeting. Is he still talking? Am I missing this? I thought he was over. Why did Bloomberg cut away? Why did Bloomberg cut away? Hang on one second. He might still be talking.
They'll go someplace else, but we'll be there too. We'll be wherever they go. We're going to be.
Did you see the May numbers for immigration?
Yeah, great
He is
numbers.
still talking.
Yeah, we had 0. Did you see that, everybody?
You were going to ask that.
0.
I was going to ask that.
She's on our side now. Because most people don't want to ask her.
Well, she told earlier, Brian, you see the main numbers. It's zero.
Yeah.
How is that even?
Because we really have a tight border. Now, we have let a lot of people in, but they came in legally. They actually have to take a little test, and they have to say, I love America, minor things like that.
Minor things like that.
Mr. President, can you talk about extending quick talk again?
Yeah, we'll be extending it. We're going to extend it. We're going to probably make a deal. I think we'll need China's blessing on it. I think
Mag 7 ripping SPY a bit of a breather ever since 1020.
Very good.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been nicer. We enjoyed the Canada stay a lot. And I had to come back, obviously, for what's happening in the Middle East, but I got everything done. He's a good man. I think Carney's a good man. Very well, a good representative of Canada.
You think he's liked by the people?
I think so, yeah.
Mr. President, have you given the Iranians an ultimatum?
You could say so. They know what's happening. Maybe you could call it the ultimate ultimatum, right?
What are we talking about? The ultimate
What essentially
ultimatum?
was that, though? What do you mean?
I don't want to say it. Look, give me a break.
What about the Paramount deal?
I would say the elder, she's doing great. She's doing great. She's really enjoying it. Barron's enjoying it. All my kids are enjoying it, actually. It's pretty hot out here, isn't it?
Yeah, what's muggier, the D.C. or West Palm Beach in the summer?
I think this is muggier. This is a muggy.
Mr. President, could I ask you about the Paramount deal and the merger with Skydance and the Ellisons? Like, what's holding that up, and do you see that being resolved?
I hope so. It's a good. Ellison's great.
NVIDIA
They did a
is
great
ripping.
job with it. But so what they did is they interviewed 60 Minutes. They interviewed Kamala. Her answer was horrendous. I would say election threatening. This is the day before the election. Her answer was
That's a
election
misprint
threatening
on
or so
Microsoft.
incompetent.
That didn't actually
So
happen.
they took the entire answer out, and they took another answer to another question and put it in. And they did that, I understand, a number of times, but you don't have to do it a number of times. The main question they asked, and we caught them, and they're very embarrassed by it, and they're working on a settlement now. But think of it, did you ever hear that one?
Here we
before?
go.
They took the entire,
Here we go.
every word, threw it out, put
Come
another
on.
answer. You think they do that for me?
Come on, folks.
Well, I've never seen it.
Let's get those magnets. Let's get those rockets popping.
It's very embarrassing. The head of 16 Minutes got fired. The head of CBS got fired. They're all getting fired. But do you think that you'll see what they're doing here?
What are they doing right now?
This is only if you're in construction. This is exciting. See, they have to get it perfectly straight. And once it's perfect, then they pour in the sand, and it's there for 100 years.
Mr. President, as the Senate works on the big, beautiful bill, it seems like SALT is going to be a really big issue between Senate Republicans and House Republicans. So what are you telling senators? Because the New York
Mag
Republicans
7
on the
is
House
still
side are making
climbing.
clear that that's
Just
a red line.
A bunch of call buying, a
If
bunch
it were
of
a
put
red
selling.
line,
It's
then,
just ripping.
Get ready for a 68% tax increase in 1929, because we're taking care of that issue too. You know what that is? That's debt ceiling. The debt ceiling, we have to move the debt. And if we don't move the debt, it's you violate covenants. It's a terrible thing. Actually, Pocahontas even agreed with me on that. She's been wanting to get rid of the debt ceiling because she said it's too violent. It is violent. So I mean, anybody that votes against it, they voted to give a 68% tax increase, and many other bits. There would be no money for the border. You know, we have billions of dollars allocated to immigration, the border, keeping criminals out, getting criminals out too. If that doesn't pass, you'll get a 68% tax increase. And I would say this, any senator that votes against it, and that includes Democrats, I think they'll be finished in politics.
On SALT specifically, do you think Senate Republicans or House Republicans will have to bend more in order to get the bill at large?
I don't know. We're going to see how it works out. It's a very difficult issue, to be honest with you. It's very difficult, and I understand both sides, but we'll just have to see. Hopefully a compromise or something's going to be made, but it's a very difficult issue. But remember that, people say, what do you think? 68% tax, so all those numbers I told you, how well the economy is doing, it all gets wiped out. You'd have the largest tax increase in history by far, by 3 times, if they don't get the big, beautiful deal. I always say the great, big, beautiful deal. I put the word great in there. They took that.
It's going to be great.
If we get that passed, it'll be the best, one of the greatest pieces. And that's just the beginning of a lot of things that are going to happen. Because we're going to get numbers down. We're going to get them way down. But that's the beginning. That's our big first step. But that's the most important piece of legislation. In terms of dollar value and everything else, there's nothing as big as that.
Speaking of
they thought that might be 7 or 8 bills. It's all in one.
Speaking of taxes, starting in July 1st, California is upping their tax on gasoline again per gallon. I mean, that's...
Well, I beat the California mandate. Congress just passed a bill ending it. That was terrible. So what they were saying, everybody by 2030 has to have an electric car. People don't want it. I'm all for electric cars, but you have to want one. And right now it's about 7%. But they were forcing everybody to have it. I ended that, and now they're coming out with more. No, in California, we've got some gas stations where just 2 weeks ago it was $1.98, $1.99. We've got the gas down below. Then we have this little situation which will drive it up a little bit, but very little, and it's going to come down again. Going to give people a lot of extra money. Groceries are down, eggs are down. The eggs. Right? They hit me the first week about eggs. But, no, I think that, look, you know what I do whenever I talk about Gavin Newsom? I say, look at the railroad. Look at the railroad. It's not even possible. Do you think he comes out and sees the construction workers? I don't think so.
I don't think he put an American flag in front of the Capitol in Sacramento either.
Mr. President, some of your supporters are split on the U.S. response to...
Who are you with?
CNN.
No.
There's a split,
Fake
though.
news. Fortunately, nobody watches.
But my question
is anybody watching CNN nowadays? I haven't seen it in a long time.
But some of your supporters are wary of the U.S. getting involved in another foreign wall, and some believe that we should support.
Do you ever ask a positive question at CNN? My supporters are more in love with me today, and I'm in love with them more than they were even at election time, where we had a total a landslide. We had, we won all 7 swing states. Did CNN report that? We won all 7 out of 7, which everyone said would be almost impossible. We won by millions of votes. We won 2,750 districts
Bring us to the promised land.
505 districts.
Come on.
Think of that, 2,750.
This is what America's built on, folks. A little bit of degeneracy.
And CNN.
Degeneracy and a prayer.
I think what she might be alluding to is the base is going to stay with you regardless. And you've gone through different tests, regardless. But some of the people in the base don't want a long-term war. They're afraid that we're going to get into a long-term war.
We're not looking for a long-term war. We're looking. I only want one thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That's it. I'm not looking long-term, short-term. And I've been saying that for 20 years. I've been saying it as a civilian who got a lot of publicity. People would cover it. Very simply, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That's it. It's not a question of anything else. And if you did, you wouldn't have much of a country, because they would use it on us and they'd use it on other people, and there'd be a terror all over the world. So I may have some people that are a little bit unhappy now, but I have some people that are very happy, and I have people outside of the base that can't believe that this is happening. They're so happy.
Is this the push?
And there was a poll that just came out today that my approval rating's the highest it's ever been. All I'm doing is saying you can't have a nuclear weapon. And I tried to do it nicely, and then on day 61 I said, let's go, because we can't let that happen. And I've been saying it for 20 years. But, okay, I'm going to leave. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
Guess that's that.
So this is President Trump. He was just speaking here at this White House flagpole installation. We did just want to stay on this shot for another moment here, because a little bit earlier he did take media questions and walked away. And as we just saw, he answered more media questions. Let me just leave this on here for one more moment.
What's up?
Come on. We've been in this one for a minute. We're right there. We can almost taste it. Come on. Come on. Oh, shit. No. What the fuck? There was random orders, but I think we're good. Nothing fired. All right. Cool. Let me make sure all the orders are pulled. I was able to cancel the order before something funky happened. Positions, no positions, account. All right, locked it in. About $600 per account. I have 30 accounts. That's about $18,000 locked in. Not a bad day. Not a bad day to be old Mateo. In fact, it actually pays off what I fucking lost yesterday. So $600 per account. I have 20 Apex accounts, 5 funded take profit, 5 eval take profit. So basically 25 funded, which are the ones that really matter. And then the 5 evals, just kind of slowly but surely walking them up. But looking good. $600 per account, 30 counts, $18,000 locked in. And as I said, I'm shutting it down. I wanted to be done by 11 today. I do not do well on FOMC days. I do not want to take on the risk. But this is actually the perfect opportunity to shout out Take Profit Trader, aka TPT. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. You can get 30% off the eval and never pay an activation fee. So right now the prices between TPT and Apex are pretty competitive. So I would recommend using the one that you like a bit more. The code Goonie will get you the discount on both. Like I said, by the time the dust settles, by the time you go from the eval to the funded, it's going to be financially roughly the same. So check it out. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Use that code Goonie. Take Profit Trader. It's weird because you put it in, but then you actually have to hit the apply button. So I obviously don't want you guys to miss out on the discount. So make sure you're actually hitting the apply and not just typing it in. But obviously shout out to them. And hey, it worked out well with them today. 10 of their accounts, 590 each, 5,900 there. And then a little bit of slippage over on some of the Apex ones. But slowly but surely climbing these accounts up. My best account, and this is because I accidentally was trading some system stuff, but only on one, and it didn't get applied to all of them. So that's why this account is up by an extra $800-ish. But most of these accounts are chilling just above 52. Most of these are chilling just above 52. And like I said, that's kind of all she wrote today. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Just trying to keep... Whoop. And literally right as I do it, Meta taking a little bit of a hit. Netflix, I would like if that kept climbing. Tesla catching a little bit of a bid there after a very nice pump this morning. Avago catching another bid. 15-minute Orbo breakout. And then we also have actually all 3 breakouts, the 15-minute, the 30-minute, and the 1 hour on both the SPY and the Qs all favored the bulls. Across the board, all favored the bulls. 15-minute, 30-minute, initial bounce to 60-minute, all of them broke to the upside. So all 3 Orbos, 1, 2, 3, count them up, all being favored by the bulls. We are coming up closely to my next level. My next target, first target was obviously 6,000. We talked about that extensively. The next one is 6,023, which is the high value from yesterday. And then past that, we have the top of the Gamma Delta transition zone. It also happens to be the top of the zone because that is exactly where we see, I don't even have, oh, right here, the Captain Condor. Right here, the call credit spread side of the Iron Condor right here, 6035 by 6040, 25,000. It's actually bigger. No, okay. They dropped some of that protection for whatever reason. So I guess maybe a little bit of naked call selling, but for whatever reason, 30,000. So this is going to be a big level, 30,000 contracts at 6035. So that would be more of the reach target after we take out yesterday's high. If we take out yesterday's high. But overall, I'm liking this slow and steady climb to the upside. I was able to lock in about 18K on it, and obviously I do not want to overstay my welcome. So I am done for trades on the day. And depending on how the FOMC meeting goes today, I might be done with trades on the week, which, hey, that would be nice. Like, just let things kind of ride. Just let them ride. Should I check out my swing account? My swing account's been beaten up lately. Okay, we're making a bit of a recovery. I am very much leveraged long right now. Heavily leveraged long. And I I need Powell to basically be as dovish as possible, and I need him to rip this thing to new highs. Tesla 323, I would love that at 330. Avago 255, I would love that at 260. Nvidia, obviously 150. Meta, I would love 725. Netflix 1,250. Palantir 140 would be nice. 145 would be better. Microsoft 490, 500. ASML. MicroStrategy's down. That's interesting. Bitcoin, where's Bitcoin at? 105, holding 105. Apple's in the green, a little bit of a recovery just below 200. DJT's green. There's a lot of green on the watch list today. Let's hope that it gets more green. Unless you are a person swinging puts right now, then I'm sure you don't want to hear that. But if you're holding puts, you're fighting this trend. Not that it even really matters that much with the FOMC decision coming up, but if you have a shorter term trade on right now and you're bearish, like, what are you looking at? Why would you be holding that? I mean, the options market is screaming in your face that the delta is getting tilted long. All these calls are being bought. All these puts are being sold. And yet you're holding your puts. I mean, granted, you might get lucky with the FOMC meeting, but you don't know. You're flipping a coin. As much as you might get lucky, you might also get unlucky. So it just comes back to making good decisions based on the information you have. And the information you have is that ever since about 9:37 this morning, this market has been a pippity-popping. Pippity-popping. All right. Let me see if I'm missing anything over here. What is this one? What is this stream?
Close down churches.
Senate hearing on who is really running Biden's White House.
An unelected class of left-wing radicals degrade, attack, and lie about our history and our heritage. A poisonous anti-Western, anti-American ideology that had once been confined to elite university classrooms suddenly became the official White House policy. All of this was done not in isolation, or by an alliance of elite institutions, from the media to the so-called expert class to big tech to the federal bureaucracy itself. When we speak of collusion among elites or the so-called deep state, we're accused of being conspiracy theorists. But this was no theory. It was plain and overt, out in the open for everyone to see. For 4 years, we had a president who could barely string together coherent sentences after 6 p.m. Yet, this glaring fact went unreported, undiscussed, and unaddressed. Why? Because the Democrat Party, corporate media, federal bureaucracy, and big tech companies collaborated to conceal the truth from the American people, not out of ignorance, but because it advanced their own interests. In the absence of a functioning president, chaos took hold. An empty vessel occupying the Oval Office becomes a puppet for those surrounding him. Many elected officials, including some in this chamber, have used auto pens, a mechanical device that replicates a signature. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, so long as we are the ones actually making.
All right, that's a little bit boring. Took a bit of a breather for a second there, but that dip was really quickly bought. We just pushed for a new intraday high on the Qs. Like I said, the next level there is 533.33, and then on the SPY, it's 601.75. But the most important thing is SPX at 6023. 6023 is what you would want to be targeting next, key technical level, because it is yesterday's high. And then from there, we would be targeting the top of the gamma and delta transition zone on a 0DT basis. And this time it happens to be created there because it is the call credit spread of the iron condor. So target 1 was already hit. Target 2 would be here. That's target 3. And then if you get real crazy with it, the reach target would be all the way up at 6,050, which, when was the last time we were at 50? Oops. We were there not too long ago. We were there, I guess, on Monday. That was a nice pump on Monday. We were also there on Wednesday, June 11th. Overall, this has just been a choppy mess, as you could see. Like, this is the 30-minute chart. We popped all the way up here. We pulled back. We popped again, took out these highs. They said, nah, we pushed it all the way back down to the range. And now we're just like roughly in the middle of this range that's been created ever since really mid-June. So we're just not trending. We were trending very bullishly, and then all of a sudden lower highs and lower lows, and then we got a higher high, and now we technically have a higher low relative to this, but it's just so messy. We're just not trending right now. So in terms of which way is it going to break, well, personally, I'm hopeful that it breaks to the upside. Very, very hopeful for that. Let me change this. And let me change this because my current positions right now are a bunch of calls, but hope doesn't really get you far in the market. I like the recapture here, though. Hope does not get you that far in the market. So I guess I'm just waiting for this reaction roughly to 6025, yesterday's high. I do like this succession of higher highs and higher lows, but I cannot stress this enough. Based on what's going on today, right now, it does not matter until this afternoon. It's actually probably best to think of today as two distinct different days. You have everything going on up until 2 p.m. Eastern when we get the results, and then you have everything after 2 p.m. SPY just made a fresh high. Q's made a fresh high. I guess we're making highs, folks. We're making highs, but I'm happy. I was a little bit stressed there for a second because I didn't get why the bot took a short. Well, I get it because I coded it, but I was unhappy it actually did that. But anyway, I'm happy I was able to catch the reversion off of it, make my money, and then shut it down. Well, technically, I didn't shut it down if we're getting real specific with it. But I did make about $600 per account, about 18K. I have 20 Apex accounts. I have 5 take profits, 10 take profits. 5 are evals, 5 are funded. And if you want to trade with someone else's money, that's why you should check out Take Profit Trader. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Just make sure to use that code Goonie to get 30% off for life and never pay an activation fee. Good way to minimize your risk is trading with someone else's capital, or really someone else's risk. Someone else's risk. Are we missing any announcements? Iran mission to the UN. Iran shall respond to any threat with a counter threat and any action with a reciprocal measures. Okay. Iran does not negotiate under duress, and we shall not accept peace under duress. Any Iranian delegation for negotiation. Oh, it may have just landed in Oman. Okay, that was 14 minutes ago. Interesting. So they might start negotiating. They might. Huh. Here's a question for y'all. Do you think by the time we come back to the market on Monday, Israel and Iran will still actively be in a war? Or do you think that it will be done by then? So I'm talking about this upcoming Monday. So markets close tomorrow. We have crazy OPEX, triple, quadruple witching on Friday. And then when we come back on Monday, your best guess, do you think that Israel and Iran will still be, bombing each other? Yes. Okay. The fact that I'm seeing a lot of yeses tells me that the answer is going to be no. Because, folks, retail always gets this shit wrong. 100% still fighting. Yeah, there's so many people saying yes right now that makes me almost want to buy more calls. Makes me want to buy more calls. Iran will be out of options unless China or Pakistan jump in. You think Pakistan would jump in? Tom, what the fuck are you smoking? There's no way Pakistan would jump in on that one. China, maybe. Russia, maybe. You think Pakistan would hop in? No fucking way, dude. No way would Pakistan hop in on that. Interesting. Fighting will get worse. Pakistan said they would, yeah. Well, don't hold your breath on that. It'd probably be one of the dumbest things they've done in a hot minute. China and Russia are most likely, and I don't even think they want to get involved. China would obviously want to. Well, both China and Russia have like some ties with Iran, but in the immediate future, China's probably a little bit concerned about oil. They do get, they have oil deals with Iran, and the last thing their economy needs right now is additional inflation due to the increase of energy costs, which most likely Iranian oil is probably pretty expensive right now. And then Russia, for obvious reasons, also has ties there. But I don't think that as of now, they're not seemingly that interested in getting involved in any of this. They really aren't. Bull traps are always a possibility. That's Swamp. Do you ever think before you talk? Folks, ladies and gentlemen, Swamp Fox with another fucking amazing insight for the community that bull traps could theoretically happen. Amazing, 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 amazing. None of us have ever realized that before. Just the same way bear traps could theoretically happen, but also bullish breakouts could theoretically happen, and also bearish breakdowns could theoretically happen, and we could also go sideways. So are you just saying that theoretically anything could fucking happen? Swamp, no one in here is surprised that you are an AMC zealot. Like, actually at all. Like, you are the perfect embodiment of lack of knowledge or useful insight when it comes to the market. It is truly to no one's surprise that you are an AMC dipshit. Wow, it could theoretically happen. Yeah, it could. Super, super useful insights, as always. Fascinating. Fascinating, fascinating. You know, to be fair, that's not even the dumbest thing I've heard in the past 24 hours. You guys want to see something really stupid? Like, that's a pretty dumb fucking statement that it could theoretically be whatever. Yeah, no shit. What's his name? Rips, maybe? No. Yes, selling Rips. Okay. That, I swear, that's not even the dumbest thing. Right here, this one. Where the fuck is it? This is by far the dumbest thing I've heard in the past 24 hours. Millions of people trade NQ every day. Millions of different people trade MNQ every day. Yet those two move in accordance. The people who are trading the two assets aren't trading them exactly the same for them to move in concert, yet they do. It's a fucking algorithm. It's insane to me that the same group of people who think that they were going to take down Wall Street, take down Citadel, are the same people who think that there's some mythical algorithm running the markets. Like, it's the dumbest thing. Like, I've never seen such a glaring example of Dunning-Kruger in my entire life, where you have people such as this dipshit, which honestly, this is a dumber comment than Swamp's, but like people who just know nothing and yet think they are geniuses. It is insane. And this all started from an even more fascinating comment. You can't make a new high because you placed any amount of contracts on the market. If the market isn't programmed to make a new high. Yes, that's how it works. Someone every single day, they wake up, they get ready for work, they go to their computer and they program. They're like, yes, we will hit a new high today. Like, these people are so fucking stupid. So stupid. I feel bad for these people who have brainwashed by Yeah, they are literally by definition brainwashed. Oh my God, this is even worse. This is a really dumb take. The two contracts have their own order flow and any discrepancies are minuscule. If ever, the reason is that there would be an arbitrage opportunity, which would be noticed immediately by traders, HFTs, etc. Same reason, NQ, mirrors, NDX. Okay, that's true. Like, the word is arbitrage. So the answer to this pop quiz on today's show is arbitrage. That's how it works, like 100%. And let's see. No, what's really dumb is that you are all missing the point. And the point is you are buying and selling doesn't do shit. All of you could be selling, but if the algo is set to move higher at that time, you're all going to lose money. That's the point. Dude, Holy fuck. Yes, that is a very interesting take. That everyone in this world... All right, I got it. Who controls the algorithm? I didn't say it's a singular algorithm, and I don't know who pulls the strings. I don't care. I don't have to... I see the same price action every day across different ads. All right, this is... I have to... Is that a little too mean? Perhaps one of the... We'll tone it down. So like I said, Swamp, as much as I want to call you stupid, and I'll happily call you stupid because your insights are not insightful, it is in fact, actually, now that we've read more from Trader Abel, your stupidity is actually like dropping, as in potentially not even on the leaderboard. You're going to have to somehow top this if you want to retake your position. It's... The level it is just... What people don't realize is like, okay, let me really blow your minds here on how market structure actually works. So we don't even have to take seemingly different derivatives of like NQ, MNQ, NDX, and QQQ, and like even there, like let me blow your fucking mind on this one. Apple, the same Apple stock, AAPL, Apple. We have what, 14 different lit exchanges? They can trade at different prices on those different exchanges. Just because Apple is trading at, where is Apple? I'm using it as an example, at 197.14.13 on the New York Stock Exchange. There's no rule or law or anything like that. It has to trade at the same price on the NASDAQ or on ARCA or on IEX. And we're talking about the exact same thing. It is, we have different exchanges, we have different internalizers, we have different trading venues. And like, that's probably even crazier because in this example that we're talking about, stupid people, they're at least trying to like make the connection of different products like SPX versus SPY versus XSP versus ES, like whatever. And they're all still measuring the same thing. But I'm telling you, like literally the exact same thing. Apple, AAPL, that ticker can be going for different prices on different venues. And when I say venue, I mean any place that things are traded, whether it's a dark pool, a lit exchange, an internalizer. So then the question comes, why does it not trade at different prices? Well, the answer is actually it does. And in fact, the systems, the high frequency trading systems that are perpetually watching the market, the differential, it's more than 2 decimal points. It's a portion of a penny. Some of these, I don't know if it goes out maybe 4 or 5 decimal points, but as soon as it's off by that little bit, when you notice that it's slightly higher on the New York Stock Exchange and slightly lower on the NASDAQ, they just arb it. They go short one and long the other until they're the exact same value because it's the exact same fucking thing. So the question is why do all these things trade perfectly across all these different venues? No less even other derivatives things. I'm saying like literally the exact same Apple. The answer is arbitrage, but we don't see it because these systems are so incredibly advanced. They're trading at portions of a penny. And the second there's like the slightest discrepancy, well, they just arb it away. They go long on one exchange, short on the other until parity is hit. And they do that time and time again. And they're doing it at a speed that happens. They are in and out of the trade. Folks, listen to this. They are in and out of the trade before you could even physically click the mouse button. This is something that happens in the world of nanoseconds. Like it is truly that fast. And then people sit there like this is where we get these dumb fucking comments from dipshits like this who just like they have no idea what they're talking about. Like truly no concept of how incredibly advanced our entire market structure is. And then for them, because they're so stupid and losing so much money instead of taking ownership of the situation and saying, hey, like, I actually just kind of like I have a lot to learn. It is very complex. And like, I think that's a better way to look at it. But instead of doing that, they take the path of no. I know everything about the market. Whenever anything goes wrong, it is not my fault. It's just obviously it's taking no self-responsibility. It's blaming it on someone else. It's like, yo, the algorithm got me today. The algorithm got me today. What the fuck? Like, it's so stupid, these fucking people. And whatever, there's probably people in this audience right now that you think that there is an algorithm that generically runs the market and it has nothing to do with active buying, supply, demand metrics. Like, and if you think that, stop trading. You're going to lose money. Like, if you truly believe some super secret algorithm is running the market, if you believe that in your heart of hearts, that means that you will then never know the algorithm, and thus you're never going to be net profitable. You're not going to figure out the algorithm if there were an algorithm. So if you believe that, trading is not for you. This is not a game you should be playing in. Now, if you're a person who's right and believe that the market runs on basic supply and demand metrics of people buying, people selling, literally just liquidity, like basic supply and demand, like any market in the world, well, then you have an opportunity to maybe figure it out a bit more. It is just so, it's so crazy that in this modern era with such easy access to such a vast amount of knowledge, and yet people are like, the fucking algorithms, dude, the algorithms. The algorithms. Wait till you discover undecided algorithms. Jesus. That's I have nightmares about that, BT. It's confirmed that Iranian negotiators are in Oman. Well, that should get us going even more, right? Shouldn't it? Shan't it? Remember, guys, no such things as bull trap. I've never been saying that. I just said the fact that your insight of a bull trap could theoretically happen is literally useless, because theoretically anything could happen. It could be a bullish breakout. It could be a bearish breakdown. It could be a bear trap. It could be a bull trap. We could go sideways. I think you're still like a little bit too mentally underdeveloped to understand what I'm saying of your statement of it could theoretically, this could happen. Yeah, the sun could come up tomorrow. Like, it's useless. Like, you're just saying something theoretically could happen. Cool. How is that like an actionable piece of information? What are you talking about? What about a huge amount of bots are actually trading nows? Who owns most powerful algos? Hedge funds. They move the market, not me or you. What? What is your fucking point? Oh no, this is the part of the show where people like really try to prove how fucking stupid they are. You realize that there's more than one hedge fund, right? Like I pray you know that there's more than one market maker. You know that there's more than one hedge fund. There's more than one insurance fund. There is, like, holy shit. And these are people actively betting in the market. That's crazy. Well, yeah. Good luck trading. I don't know. At a certain point, you just don't even want to argue with people because it's just a waste of everyone else's time and effort at all. Child slave labor is the best. I don't know about that one. That one seems one that we don't even really need to talk about, like, theoretically. That one feels like a pretty, like, obvious hard line. The algos are literally competing against each other. Well, at least someone in here starts to understand it. We are not betting. We are investing. Betting is for casinos. LOL. Cool. I don't know. What do you want? The person who's made the most money in the market ever was, according to you, betting. He wasn't investing. The best market participant of all time, as defined by making the best percentage return and the most magnitude of gains, was not an investor. And he did it for about 3 to 4 decades. So it wasn't a fluke situation either. But good luck with what you want to do. I don't know. I'm not here to convince you of anything. Also, if you're an investor, why in the world are you watching this show? That doesn't make sense. My Nikes are made with love from those delicate little fingers. Oh man. That's funny. Horrible, but funny. That's so bad. It's obviously being controlled by Adam Aaron and Ken Griffin to suppress AMC price and keep shorting it to zero because of hidden value. Yeah. Dude, there are. Whenever you think that there's peak stupidity in the market, someone always says something. Oh, Tesla's picking up. Tesla. Okay, Meta's holding 700. Tesla probably going to have another issue at 325, but beyond that, the interesting gamma level is 330, and then from there we get cooking. Netflix up 0.8 ASML. I'm seeing more green than I am red, and I'm still holding steady to this call out here of 6023. 6023. Oh, golly. Yeah, can I check the options flow? Happily. Mag 7 popped, kind of going flat right now. We are getting closer to lunchtime. SPY, profit taking. Starting. Yeah, we got a bit of divergence. The price went higher. Options flow did not. And then that led to a little bit of this hit here. But starting just before the turn of the hour, again, we did get a pop. Kroger and Walmart, some news about them. Oh, wait, where did I get distracted? Someone said that it was confirmed that they landed in Oman. I'm not seeing that at all. I'm seeing 33 minutes ago that it might be happening, but I'm not seeing official confirmation that they did. But imagine what the market would do. Imagine what the market would do if we get a dovish Powell today, and then at some point between now and over the weekend, we have a resolution of Israel-Iran. That would be quite the situation. Confirmed by Financial Juice. No, it's not. It was like alleged. It was not confirmed. I'd be shocked if Matt didn't agree that market manipulation exists, honest to God. When did I say market manipulation doesn't exist? We've had various legal cases about it. But that has literally nothing to do whatsoever with what we've already been discussing. Market manipulation, what they're doing in effect is still they're manipulating the market via manipulating supply and demand. So a basic answer would be something like spoofing. So what they're doing is fictitiously altering supply and demand, but that doesn't in any way disprove that it's supply and demand that still moves the market. It's not some preordained algorithm running things up and down, and it's already set in stone. No, it's still any market in the world. It doesn't matter if it's the stock market, the housing market, any market. If you can think of a market, it's always supply and demand. It is 100% always supply and demand. Now, if there's an argument that is supply and or demand being fictitiously ballooned or depleted or something like that, yeah, that is probably where we've actually Tesla new intraday high. That's a completely different story, and I would not even say we literally have legal cases where this has been shown. I mean, we've had individuals do it, we've had market makers do it. Yeah, that does clearly occur. That's not really an opinionated matter whatsoever. Wrong. Megatron controls the market. Potential. Do you think shorts ever bitch about long ladder attacks? I would assume so. The old long ladder attacks. The old long ladder attacks. But Tesla having a nice pump there. Biggest gainer on my watch list, up about 2.9%. The real battle, 325, I think, is going to be important psychological level just because of the 25 handle. But from an option standpoint, a big win for the Tesla bulls would be a recapture and especially a close above 330. Above 330. Sideways until FOMC, could happen. I would say that in terms of probabilities, there's probably more of a probability of that than anything else really happening today. But remember, the whole show really gets going today at 2 p.m. All of this is just a little bit of a preamble, you know? This is just the starter. This is that first comic to get us all laughing, maybe get us all crying before things get really crazy. But on that note, I'm going to go. I need to prep up some additional work here, and then I will be back just before 2 p.m. So we'll start streaming again today at 1:30, 1:45. So I'm going to see you guys there. I beg of you to not do anything too crazy midday, just because what advantage do you really have? So I'll see you guys back. The results come out at 2 p.m. and we get the summary of economic projections and also the interest rate decision, which is most likely going to be nothing. But then it continues at 2:30 when Jerome Powell gets going. So we'll be streaming again at 1:30, 1:45. I will see you guys there. Best of luck. Catch you in a couple hours. Peace.